Many are expecting the Constitutional Court to rule on President Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment case later this week. Now, what's taking the justices so long? We turn to legal expert Joung Hwang this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. So what do you think the 8 justices are contemplating at this stage? I mean, didn't the court stress a speedy ruling?
Right. I think the attack that we saw on Seoul Western District Court probably has spooked this court. So I think they're probably taking extra care to make sure that they're crafting their written decision to be as criticism-proof as possible. I mean, obviously, there are people on both sides of the issue who are so, firmly, entrenched in their beliefs that no matter what the Constitutional Court says, they will not be happy if the decision does not go as they would like the decision to go. So it will be impossible to please everyone. But at the same time, I think the court realized that not only are will they be talking to South Korean people in general, they're talking to the history as well. So I think they're crafting a decision that will basically stand up to the scrutiny of the history as well as the entire nation.
Well, some are betting that Thursday or Friday to be the day the ruling is announced now, but some even expect it to happen as late as next week. Which day are you betting on?
At this point, I'm pretty agnostic about, what day is going to be. I mean, obviously, everybody would like to see this process sped up, but at the same time, I think the court would be, if I'm in their shoes, and I'm just, kind of imagining myself in their shoes, is that I'll be a little more worried about making sure that the actual written decision that'll go out is as perfect as I make it, rather than making sure that it's, either this week or a few days. I don't think in the grand scheme of things, a few days here, a few days there will make that much of a difference.
Like you mentioned, I'm sure the justices will pour extra efforts into drawing up their final statements, considering the gravity of the case. Now, what kind of statements do you think will be included once the verdict is delivered?
Well, fundamentally, these judges tend to be institutionalists in the sense that they would like to uphold the rule of law, they would like to make sure the Constitution is upheld and so forth. And I doubt they have too much personal loyalty either on any, political spectrum that people suspect. So I think their message is that, the rule of law stands, and for these reasons, we decide as follows. And I think they're trying to make their case as persuasive to as many Koreans as possible. And I suspect that's why they're taking this time, because, obviously 8 justices have to, agree with each other. So I think they're trying to craft a persuasive case. At the same time, they all need to agree at the same time. And I fully expect to see an 8-0 decision at the end of the day.
Definitely, it's going to be a ruling that cannot satisfy everybody at the end of the day. Now, I know Yoon's legal team said no, but do you think President Yoon make a statement before the ruling day? What do you think?
I mean, that's really hard to tell. I mean, President Yoon has proven to be a very unpredictable person, to say the least. But his steadfast strategy has been to rile up his core base supporters on the sort of far-right fringe of the South Korean society. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls some surprise that will be designed to rile up his supporters once again.
Well, then the question is, will the ruling and opposition parties be able to draw a joint message following the verdict? Because I remember back in 2017, they did when former President Park Geun-hye was ousted, right?
Right. Right now, the political landscape is much different from 2017. South Korean society is much more polarized. I mean, that's evidently basically demonstrated by the attack on the Western Seoul District Court. And I really do hope that we can avoid a violent outburst like that. But I am concerned, and I'm concerned that what kind of, society we'll enter into if something like that happens.
Right. But at the end of the day, we all want peace and security and, of course, democracy. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us, as always, this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.